Welcome everyone to Raw Sport, another big episode with the man himself, Mr. Rick Glazer. Rick, welcome to the show. What's happening, mate?
A lot of things are happening. We got the time tonight for you, and we're going to answer all your hard questions. Don't make them too hard.
Rick, what is going on? It's been an absolute avalanche of news in the last 48 hours. We're going to start right at the top. Zuffa Boxing confirmed the signing of Conor Benn, a man or a fighter who was regarded as the protege of Eddie Hearn. They were that close that Eddie felt like he didn't even need a contract. What's going on?
I guess that he was wrong again. He needed a contract. The next time Eddie's right, it'll be an historic moment in British history.
Rick, give us your outlook on the
I
situation.
just feel that he bucked heads with Keith Conley, the manager of Conor Benn, who's an American from Long Island, New York, right outside of New York City. And I think he bucked heads with him one too many times. And I think Keith just says, fuck Eddie Hearn, and he did. That's all there is to it. Keith's a very prideful guy. He doesn't have a big ego, but he does have a lot of pride, and he's a very prideful guy. And I just think he was fed up with Eddie's shenanigans. Now, he didn't tell me this. I'm just surmising. There's nothing that came from Keith's mouth to my ears or anything like that. I'm just surmising. I know Keith's personality. I know how he operates. I know Eddie, and I don't want to know Eddie, but I do know him and how he operates. Now I don't know him really that well personally. He's come up to me and tried to talk to me at the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney in between the two weigh-ins. He tried to talk to me, and I just, he's not my kind of guy. He's just not my cup of tea. I don't like guys that you have to decipher whether they're lying or telling the truth, and that's not my cup of tea. And I
So
just
you
think
brushed
that,
him off.
I
Hang on a
brushed him
second.
off. I brushed
Like
him off. Yeah.
he
Hmm?
came up to Uncle Rick, and you just brushed him off.
Yeah. He goes, Rick Glazer. I looked up at it. I go, slumped down in a chair. I looked up at it. I go, hello. Just like that. He knew to scatter. So, because he tried to talk to me, I was going to say, you didn't get the message by me, how I said hello to you. But he's smart enough to scamper away. He just Eddie can't help himself. Americans are different than Brits, and Brits are, let's have some tea and crumpets and talk about this. No, Americans come out blazing. We're not taking up to his bullshit and his con and gaff and his lies, and I'm sure Keith had enough of it. That's all there was to it. I mean, like I said, it's nothing Keith told me. Keith and I do have a good relationship, cordial, and I consider him a friend, but didn't get anything from Keith. But I just know how Eddie is, and I know how Keith is, and I'm putting two and two together. I can just see that in my mind how it went down.
Well, Eddie went on record through an interview with IFL TV a couple of hours ago, saying that he asked Conor Benn to jump on a call, and Conor said no. So there must have been something building up underneath all
Well,
those
I think
files.
I think it was Keith instructing um Connor what to do and what to say and what not to do.
Wow. How long has Conor been with Keith?
I don't know. It's been a while now. Maybe a year and a half.
Wow. Interesting.
Maybe a year.
He's had some big fights
Mhm,
since him signing with him. He's had massive fights
mhm.
and made a lot of money. Now, the deal, there's a lot of rumors around this deal, Rick. Some people say it's $15 million for one fight. Some people say it's not. But the common opinion out there or perspective that I've been hearing and I've been seeing online is that it's a 1 year, it's a one fight deal. Do we know
Well,
any more than that?
yeah, yes and no. It's a one fight deal, and then he's a free agent. But I'm sure I'm sure that they'll look to do something with him further. Zuffa, Dana White, Nick Khan, those guys. I think that they'll look to do something with him later, going forward. I'm sorry, not later, but keep going after that. But there's just a contract for one fight. They don't have any particular fight in mind, but he is going to be for one fight, and they're going to do further business. I believe. I don't think he's going back to Eddie.
Yeah, I don't think that they'd do such an announcement and give him all that coverage just for one fight. I think I think
Right.
there's going to be a bit more business there. How do
Right.
you see, like, if we're looking at a macro level, Rick, right? And we look at the current landscape, Conor was top three of Eddie's fighters, and Zuffa's been able to grab Conor from in between Eddie's grasp. From a perspective, from an industry perspective, what does that say? I mean, is that a huge blow to Eddie? Does it make him that more
I
vulnerable?
think it's a huge blow to Eddie's ego. I think it's a huge blow to Matchroom. I think it's a huge blow to all those involved on the Eddie Hearn side of things, including guys maybe he was talking to him about fighting next. Probably won't happen now. It's got these kind of things have a trickle down effect. There's a lot of other people that are affected when the guy is a big draw like a Conor Benn is. Now I didn't say popular, I said big draw. There's a difference between being popular and a big draw.
Yeah, some people want you to lose. You know.
Right.
Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. All right. We've just had a comment come in. Let's bring it up. Garcia to join Zuffa next week. I'm guessing this is in reference to Ryan Garcia, the man who we're about to segue into next. He claims that he's on his last fight with Oscar. Oscar says otherwise. Do you know much about the situation?
There's truths to what Oscar De La Hoya is saying. If
Ryan.
Ryan wins, they have options because as a world champion, winning the title, they're going to have options on him. If he loses, they have the right to co-promote his next several fights.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Smart. Well, there you go. So he's definitely sticking around then. All right. Um, Moving into tomorrow night's massive fight, we have Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios up the top. Let's start with that. How do you see the fight playing out?
A very difficult fight. The figure because Ryan is so inconsistent. I don't know what Ryan's going to show up. I mean, the experience that we had watching him fight Rolly Romero back on May 2nd last year was of a listless guy who looked like he didn't want to be in there. But then we saw Ryan Garcia, whether he was on steroids or not, or weight cutting thing, whatever he was on, doesn't matter. He was still hitting a guy with left hooks.
Mm.
All night long he was reaching them. So you don't know who's going to show up. And Mario Barrios is not a great fighter. He's a he's a blue collar lunch bucket type of fighter, and he brings out the best of himself. Now that's not a great thing either. He's not a great fighter, like I said, but he had two draws in his last two fights. He's a very solid competitor, and he's not a joke. So he's going to have to be Ryan Garcia is going to have to be the best of himself to win the fight,
This is
and that all
his
depends on which Brian shows up. That's all there is to
this
it.
is this is his fourth attempt at winning the title. Um, from somebody who was considered as a great amateur, why do you think it's taking
How is this
this
his
long?
fourth? He had Tank, he had Haney, he had
Yeah,
Rowley. Oh, this will be his fourth. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So someone who was considered such a great amateur, he hasn't has he? Do you believe he's really adopted to the pro style of fighting, or
It's
has he
not. It's
improved
not his
enough?
style. It's not his style. It's his mentality or lack of it. It's his
Ah,
disposition and lack of it. It's his discipline and lack of it, and those are all question marks surrounding this guy. Guy's a loose cannon.
I think this is his best chance yet to actually pull it off. So we will see how things progress. There's another fight, which is the co-main event, is Oscar Duarte versus Richardson Hitchin. How do you see that fight breaking out?
I think it's one of those kind of fights that if Oscar Duarte can get inside the jab, he could really do a lot of damage. I mean, that's a very, very, it's a no joke situation. Oscar Duarte comes to fight. He's a rough guy. He's strong. He's tenacious. He's got heart. So I don't know. And Hitchens is not a good puncher. So if his jab isn't working and his feet aren't working in coordination with one another, he's gonna get fucked up by Duarte.
Wow, absolutely. Any other fight that stands out to you on the card?
Yeah, Hyoka and Gary Antoine Russell, Andy Hyoka. Excellent
Which
fight.
interesting situation, actually, in saying that. I don't know how I even missed that. The Japanese fighter Hyoka, I hope I said that right. He only made it to Vegas, I think, either yesterday or the day before. Is that correct?
Last night, I heard.
Yeah. So he had issues with his visa. He couldn't come across. Now he's got to transition into the time zone in Vegas. How do you see it all playing out?
Not good for him as far as that goes. But before that, I thought it was a fight he was capable of winning. I don't know how he's going to be affected now. I can't say for sure.
What's the time difference between Japan and
17
Vegas?
hours.
Whoa. Yeah, that's actually he might get away with.
I believe it's 17 hours. I'm sorry, it's 17 hours flying.
Yeah,
I don't know. Wait, 17 hours flying. I don't
he
know.
might he might just get away with it. The only thing that might get him is the sleep. But in terms of the fight, it'll be around the middle of the day there, from my understanding. So he might just get away with it, but the jet lag will get him. But anyway, we'll see how that fight plays out. Massive occasion for Golden Boy. Huge show. We have the WBC introducing the new pendant, I think it's called. That nice shiny with diamonds, $40,000 edition. What do you make of that edition?
Well, Zuffa's going to come out with that new one next week for the March 8th fight. Now, what the fuck? It's like everybody trying to every motherfucker trying to one up each other. It's gonna be it's crazy. It really is. Everybody's trying to one up one another right now between the WBC and Dana White, between Dana White and Eddie and Golden Boy and Eddie. It's ugly. It just everybody's trying to one up one another.
Wow. It's definitely interesting times. The sport's changing. Some think for the
I'll
better.
tell you one
Some
thing
think
that's
for the
not
worse.
changing. I'm the same guy every single day. That's
Correct.
not changing.
The true OG. All right. Let's keep going. Golden Boy again. There was the hearing with the Virgil Ortiz case in Las Vegas, and the judge is yet to come up with an outcome. What do you know about the situation?
Well, he's delayed any decision. He's going to render a decision sometime next week. I'm told, on what I'm hearing, and it looks to me, from my negative from the outside, that it favors that right there favors Golden Boy, because if they were to rule on the fighter's behalf, they would have done it already tonight. He's probably leaning towards Golden Boy. That's why he probably doesn't want to do it in the courtroom.
Can you explain to the layman out there, because when it comes to legal, it can get a bit complicated. The current situation here with this hearing and what the outcome could possibly be?
Well, The outcome is that right now, Golden Boy is suing the manager and Virgil. I believe Virgil, but I know the manager, Rick Merigian, is getting sued, and over this whole deal. And they're trying to get out of Oscar's agreement and free, so they can go and fight Boots supposedly in April. And where Oscar still claims to be the promoter, which I believe he is, because what caused the breach in the contract was a torturous act by Rick Merigian, from what I can see, tell, feel, and all the facts that I'm receiving from multiple parties. So there's underlying reason why this contract was reputedly, supposedly, allegedly breached. I'm not saying it was, but why the Meridian side say the breach? Well, he caused the breach. There's things that he did that caused them to breach. So I believe that Golden Boy will win this argument, and I also definitely believe they win the lawsuit. That's not, to me, that's not even a dispute.
Where's the link between the renewal of the zone contract and this fight and this lawsuit here?
Well, what I'm told is that there was a clause in the contract that allowed the Virgil to get out of the contract if they didn't have a DAZN deal. Well, the manager had drawn that contract up along with his lawyers and Golden Boys and their lawyers, and he intentionally stalled out those agreements. So stalled out the Virgil agreement, so the Golden Boy agreement would lapse, because he knew that the zone basically gave Golden Boy ultimatum: make the fight and we'll renew your deal. If it doesn't, it's you don't. We may not renew it. So he knew that. He stalled the negotiations out intentionally.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, let's see how things play out this week. Another huge announcement today. Apparently, as you say, allegedly, reputedly, Floyd Mayweather is making a professional comeback, not an exhibition, a professional comeback. What do you know? What have you heard?
Well, it's going to take place after the Mike Tyson thing, the Mike Tyson debacle exhibition debacle. He's supposedly going to come back. I mean, I don't know who he's going to fight. It would have to be a Conor Benn, or it'd have to be a Terrence Crawford or somebody like that.
Floyd? No, come on.
Who's he going to fight?
Pac-Man.
Maybe.
He can't fight a young
You
killer.
don't forget one thing. Don't forget, somebody has to put the money up. So it depends on who's putting the money up.
How do you see it playing out? You're an industry
Depends on
insider.
who's putting the money up.
All right, let's play the scenario out.
It depends on who's putting the money up. That's the scenario. It's plain and simple.
Wow, I would have thought Pac-Man. The other three would be killers. The only other one I'd back him to be is Mario Barrios if he wins against Ryan Garcia. So anyway, all right. Matchroom. Speaking of Matchroom, signed a 5-year deal with DAZN, announced yesterday. What are your thoughts on the deal? Matchroom as a whole announced.
There's no question about it. There's no question about it that it was going to be re-signed, a new deal. There was no doubt about it. It was a moot point. It was a moot announcement because everybody knew what was going to happen.
Okay, let's look at the industry as a whole. You have Matchroom has a TV deal. You have Zuffa has a TV deal with Paramount. They're the two forces right now that we see that are coming together, and they are colliding. They're at the beginning of their collision. What's your outlook on what's going on? How do you see things playing out here, Rick?
I think that Golden Boy's going to get their deal re-upped. They just did one show in January. Now they got another one discussed for. They're doing a show March 14th on the Zone, the big show. they're going to get their all the legalities of a deal worked out. I think that's why they're doing the March 14th show together, and I think they're going to go back to what they had been doing for since 2019.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's been a good relationship with both parties. Golden Boy puts on very good fights, and they come in on a good budget for the zone, and everybody's happy. So I believe it's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen.
What about the matchroom play into the states, into America? We saw Eddie Hearn.
Eddie. Except for Bam Rodriguez, Eddie needs to go back to the UK and Australia and stay there.
Well, he announced a 7-fight deal with Fox Sports in Australia, which is a DAZN company. We saw that. So he is coming to Australia, but he's going to have
Right.
very stiff competition here
He's
as well.
very weak. He's very weak and vulnerable in the United States.
But we saw that card, that Shakur Stevenson card. He did that collaboration with Rock Nation, and then we all of a sudden seen him on all
Rock
these
Nation.
different. Yeah, he did. Yeah, Rock Nation. They did like a marketing deal, and then all of a sudden we seen him on all these different podcasts and working for all these influencers in New York. So you can see he's trying
Yeah, he
to,
doesn't have Shakur. He doesn't. He was just a front man for the promotion. He doesn't have Shakur. He's got no contract.
agree, but he tried to use the opportunity to grow his brand
Listen,
there.
Eddie's trying to use a lot of opportunities. What he should do is go back to England. Okay, he's in way over his head here. He's too spread out across too many continents, and he's depreciating his own product in the UK, and he's got Australia to worry about. He's got Bam Rodriguez here. Golden, the zone should say give him the Golden Boy and go back to England. But they're not going to do that. The reason why there's internal reasons why at the zone and with Eddie Hearn of a common denominator that an executive at the zone is on the board of directors at Matchroom Sport. So there you go.
Wow. So we have the clash of the billionaire class, TKO and the zone. We're going to see this play out. Some interesting moves, I think, if you ask me. 1-0 Zuffa after the news today. That was a massive blow. Other than that, Rick, what are your thoughts on the Zuffa cards so far? The last one was very action
Except for the
packed.
Callum Walsh fight, the fights have been solid. They don't have meaning and purpose. Don't get me wrong; they're not leading to anything. In other words, but they're all good, solid, professional fights that are entertainment worthy.
That last one was very entertaining. A few knockouts, which the regular fan
Yeah,
wants to
no,
see.
no, no, no. It's good. They have good, except for the Callum Walsh fight. Um, that was versus Carlos Campos. That was a stinker. Callum Walsh can't be in a good fight. It's just that kind of guy. Just
Which happens.
not what's that?
It happens. It happens.
Yeah,
Which
but
happens.
you don't headline a guy like that. You just
They've
don't. Just,
they've
you know,
invested they've invested a lot into him. It's almost like they're trying to rekindle that Conor McGregor rise, but I don't think he has the personality. Just reading from the outside in, basically.
there's nothing there.
All right, Rick, that's all from me. Have you got anything else for me, mate?
We're 5 minutes short of a half hour. You're getting me off real quick tonight. You must have a
That's all.
promise. You must have some promise something that's standing on two feet that you want to take off those 2 feet.
What do you got for me? Last, I'm going to hand it over to you. Any news lurking around town?
No, nothing. Everything's pretty status quo. Everybody, all the news, everybody's reading and seeing. So it's been an abomination in reality. But we'll see what happens. Eddie Hearn's poked the bear with Dana White, and Dana White poked the bear back. So
The
we'll
two
see what happens. I'm finding it very entertaining in itself. Listen to Dana talk about Eddie, Eddie talk about Dana, Dana talk about Oscar, Oscar talk about Eddie, Oscar talk about Dana. Very entertaining. It really is.
What about Oscar's clapback Thursday yesterday? Well, what do you think of that?
I don't know. He wasn't wrong.
You know what's funny though, Rick? I'll tell you this, right? And I'm going to be really, really, really honest with you here.
Is that compared to dishonest like the other day?
No.
I'm kidding you. Of course, I'm just kidding.
So, as a fan, right? One of the biggest problems fans have is the sanctioning bodies have, excuse my language, dicked around for so long. Ordered interims, rushed in opponent, rushed in voluntaries, done all that, right? So what do they expect fans to sort of do now? Like a fan's meant to just say, "Oh, we'll forget all that now because there's a new player in the sport." I mean, come on.
Listen, I'm not a big fan of what the IBF has done. They've stripped in the last couple of years Crawford, Canelo, and Usyk. I'm not a big fan. Okay, of what they've done. I'm not a big fan of all these interim titles the BA and the BC has had, and the super titles and all this other BS. I'm not a big fan of all these things that have happened, but everybody, the promoters and the fighters have to put their foot down. The organizations are supposed to be there for the fighters, but they seem to be there for the promoters, and it's not. It's a shame. It's come down to that, but it's what the truth is, and people have to put their foot down, and nobody's done it.
Actually, I've got
The
something for you.
organization that behaves by far the best, and they're so far out in front of the other three organizations, is the WBO.
Yes, I agree with you on that one. I thought you were going to say BA. I was going to lose it at you because they're probably the worst. But
Which one's the worst? Which one's the worst?
BA. They make up titles for fun.
Right now, it looks like my friend Mauricio's the worst. Jesus Christ. Woo.
He's fighting. Yeah, he's getting himself in trouble. Absolutely. But he's going down swinging, as they say. Zuffa announced their weight classes. 8 weight classes. Very simple. No junior, no super. Simple, understandable, easy to understand. Right. That's going to appeal to fans. Right. Where on the other side, you got super, junior, junior, super, super, junior.
Here's what's not going to appeal to fans. When you're asking 140-pound fighters to fight at 47, and you're asking 54-pound fighters to fight at 160, and when you have 130-pound fighters that you want to sign, you tell them you got to fight at 135. That's not going to appeal to certain fighters, and it's not going to appeal to certain fans. They're the real knowledgeable ones, and there's a safety factor involved there.
But the common person doesn't even know that. They just want to see the action.
No, it's not the common, but the common person that understands boxing. There are people out there that are fans. I've talked to many of them over the years that are very sharp. Now, that's a small percentage of the population, but there's a safety factor involved here. You know, you're asking 40 pounds to fight at 47, okay, or 40 pounders to go down to 35 and kill themselves to make the weight. I mean, just, you're causing more problems.
But the commission's going to approve all this. Otherwise, the fights can't happen.
If the fighter makes the weight, the commission ain't going to have much say so.
See? Another fight that was announced today, formally, all over social, Golden Boy, PBC, your friends. David Benavidez, Zudo Ramirez.
May 2nd. May 2nd, yeah.
PBC hosting the fight. No turkey, no ring, no Riyadh season. Why not? What have you heard?
Haven't heard anything.
There was talks swirling that Turkey was going to put up the fight, and now we see that there was nothing, no Turkey involvement whatsoever.
Why is he blocking the fight?
Who is?
You said Turkey was going to block the fight. Why would he block the fight?
No. I said Turkey was going to put up the fight, pay for the fight.
Oh, okay. Put up. I thought you said block. Okay, sorry.
No.
Don't know what happened.
Don't know. You don't know what happened?
No, don't know.
But it's your friends PBC. They live to fight another day.
Don't know. What? One more show? I mean, come on. How many? They did 5 last year, 5 the year before, and they're doing their first show on March 28th this year, and they're doing their second show in May. At that rate, they're going to end up with 4 or 5 shows this year again. Come on. Are they in business? Barely. They're petering along. My Cox got more momentum at age almost 68 than they got momentum. You all right?
You couldn't give it to Randage, Rick.
What? What I say that was? I say something
All right,
wrong, or is it
Rick.
just funny?
It's funny. Rick, any parting words, my friend?
No. I'm glad to see your smiling face. As long as you're thousands of miles away, we're good.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Uncle Rick. Thank you to all those who tuned in. Take care, everyone. We'll catch you on the next episode.
I was the OG Rick till I met you. Now I'm Uncle Rick. Son of a bitch. You're depreciating my value as we go along.
See you later, everyone. Take care.